And now, the time fight fans all across the globe have been waiting for. It's the main card with your man, the voice. As always, in the opposite corner, my mano y mano, my verbal sparring partner, Philly's finest, Wiltress Ruff.
What's happening, champ? We back. You know what I'm saying? Off a quick hiatus. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Smoke O'Clock. It's the main card, man, with your man Wiltress here. With the greatest of all time, the man, the myth, the legend. He ain't got no cacao hat on or nothing today.
No, you know, but really I'm rocking. I'm putting on for my city. Got my flag on my front. Got that city red on my head for all them who are city bred.
Yeah, we don't believe you. Anyway, we got an amazing show today for y'all. Welcome to the main card. We got some great things to get into. This is where you come for the best in combat sports. Your man Voice here is probably one of the best to ever do it. It's time to get us a full TV show so we can be national and make that big paper like TKO, like we're about to get into. We're about to get into that. So, Voice, you ready?
Yes, sir, I am.
Let's get into it. KOs and low blows. All right, now, starting out, TKO is out here doing the most. They got a lot going on here, and I want to get into it. They lined up two historic media deals back-to-back for both WWE and UFC. The first, WWE's deal with ESPN. They're partnering with ESPN for a duration of 5 years, valuing at $1.6 billion, which amounts to about $325 million per year. Then they was like, hold my drink, let UFC come around. UFC got a deal with Paramount, 7 years, $7.7 billion. Now, this coverage is monumental because it's all 13 number UFC events and 30 fight nights annually, and it's going to be streamed exclusively on Paramount with select marquee events simulcast on CBS. Now, Voice, I know how I feel about the WWE portion, but I want to get your thoughts on what you think about this monumental deal by TKO.
The thing that has been spoken about most is what really matters most for fans, and that's the money. Not necessarily the money that the UFC got, but the money that we as MMA fans no longer have to pay. We're going to talk about UFC 319 later today. I will be going out to see that fight, which means I'm paying for the food and everything, but that's a heck of a lot less expensive than paying the $80 for the pay-per-view. Whereas with this deal with Paramount now, I don't know how much it's going to be. Dana keeps saying, yeah, $12.99. I have Paramount for free right now through Walmart Plus. I can have Paramount free through my cellular provider. I'm doubting very seriously that it's still going to be at that $12.99 with all these things going on. We'll see. Whatever the price is, though, it's going to be less than my ESPN Plus subscription combined with watching these pay-per-views. So it's a win. I don't have to go anywhere. I can just see it all at home. The fact that it's so much more accessible to everyone hopefully will make things much better overall. It's such a full circle moment. The UFC really cut its teeth and reintroduced itself fighting on Spike, which was owned by Paramount. They left their trendsetter, went to FS1. They launched FS1, made FS1 a thing. Then they went to ESPN to launch ESPN Plus, made that a thing. Now they're coming back to Paramount all over again to fight on Paramount Plus. Something that Paramount, when they had their own organization, being Bellator, weren't able to leverage properly. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this works out and how the UFC can do things better than Paramount could. and really bring value to Paramount Plus. Because I don't know about you. I mean, I got it, but of the streaming services I have, it's the one I use the least. I mean, like if a Taylor Sheridan something isn't on, I ain't messing with it. The movies are all right, but I don't really go there. Now I have a reason to go there, which is the reason why I don't believe the prices that I'm paying now. As Fat Joe would say, tomorrow's price, definitely I don't believe it's going to be today's price.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely impactful, especially because it gives more of that access to subscribers without those extra fees. But I'm also hearing too, and I'm not sure how serious this is, that Paramount is not done with their merger yet, and they're actually looking to get Warner Brothers, which would be even bigger. But it may also compromise considering the fact that Warner Brothers is home to AEW and TKO has WWE. So that'll be interesting. As far as the WWE deal, I mean, I get it. Not too many fans have been excited about that. First of all, we still want WWE Network back, which you can still get on your VPN and watch internationally. But many people are worried that with the move to ESPN, a lot of these prices are going to change. Things are going to be upsold. A lot of the content is going to be less available, especially when you consider the fact that the move from Peacock, I mean, it's like $5 a month and you get to see everything. And now with them doing maybe it feels like 2 to 3 special events per month, you know, we'll see what happens. But, you know,
well, the thing that makes this interesting, and that's something I didn't get to share, because of course the UFC, we stated, is moving off of ESPN, and it makes room for WWE to be there. ESPN has this $30 a month standalone package that they're launching next year. It makes sense to have WWE, a ratings juggernaut, having their content there, as much of it as they can, because you still have the stuff on CW being NXT. You still have everything on Netflix being Raw. You know, so you have SmackDown, you have your PLEs and things. Looks like on ESPN, but them letting go of the UFC, it makes sense because there's only so many dollars to go around. And, you know, when you're securing this kind of contract, you know, it doesn't make sense. And then with what the UFC was able to get from Paramount, especially seeing as the UFC pay-per-views have been going down. So the amount that the UFC was getting paid out on those things, they had a set rate, and then anything above that they had to pay out on. Yeah, those fees were going down. So it just made sense. They got more money from Paramount, where things with ESPN started off very well. They even renegotiated the contract. But towards the end, it started going down. We'll see how things go with Paramount. Dana's like, no, we're not going to just phone it in like we've been doing with ESPN. We're not going to just phone it in. You know, it's going to be a lot different. So we shall see.
Definitely.
Yeah, now, again, just glad to see the changes that are taking place. Hopefully, it'll help those performers. Speaking of performers, we're going to keep things going and go around the apron, talking about some pro wrestling as well as a little more combat sports. The thing from a pro wrestling perspective, though, which I wanted to kick off with, is Naomi at SummerSlam won the title, a title that she's yet to defend. I was going to, or I should say, I believe she's yet to defend.
No, she's defended it once.
She's defended it one time. She was scheduled to defend again on Raw as early as that day. I mean, like the general manager was like, hey, he was pumping up the match that day, and then at the time of he was. And then at the time,
no, I was thinking about her defending it. Now I wasn't sure, but I'm not sure. I'll double check that.
Okay, I got you. Either way it goes, she ain't had it long. and now she's injured, or I should say, all signs point to her being injured. Let's play devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a ruse, what benefit would that be as far as storylines are concerned?
So I don't think this is a situation like Seth Rollins was, and she has defended it once. She defended it once at SummerSlam. That's when she retained it. I don't think this is a ruse. The way that they're speaking about this is that this is something major that could see her have a lot of time out. Nobody's really spoken on it. We haven't really gotten any updates, and she hasn't posted on social media. A lot of people are speculating that she could be pregnant, which, if so, it's something that she's talked about recently that she's wanted to do. From a perspective of wrestling, you can say it will be from an unfortunate point in time because she's doing some of her best work. She's probably in my eyes, next to Seth Rollins, the best champion right now on there. Her heel work, as the proceed with caution Naomi has been amazing, and I would hate to see this reign come short. This wouldn't be the first time. Her first reign as SmackDown Women's Champion, she won at the pay-per-view, and then she ended up getting hurt, had to relinquish it, and then won it again at WrestleMania. So she's had instances where this has happened before, but this kind of puts the Raw division kind of in a tailspin, but also creates even more opportunity with Clash at Paris coming up. Because if it's long term and she has to relinquish the title, we could end up seeing a multi-woman match that includes Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne, and also Io Sky, and possibly Rhea Ripley. So from a standpoint for Naomi, it's not really good because of how great the work she's doing. And, I hope that she's okay in this. Nothing serious, but if it is something serious, hopefully she's able to heal and get back to us in a great time. But, for the Raw division, all it does is create even more opportunity, and it opens up to possibly seeing a new champion as soon as Clash of Paris.
Okay, one follow-up question. It's been stated, or I should say, all signs point to a heel turn for Asuka, and that this was supposedly going to be a slow build, but needed to be escalated due to the injury.
Right.
What can we expect with this face turn for Asuka?
So you mean the heel turn? So
yeah,
what would happen in such a year?
Yeah.
Asuka is probably one of the most decorated stars, and over the past few years, as a fan of hers, and you ask anybody else, it's been disappointing to see how WWE has treated her in storylines. She's kind of been relegated to tag teams. She lost to Jade Cargill for the Queen of the Ring, which feels like a waste considering Jade didn't win at SummerSlam. But Asuka turning heel on Io Sky is probably going to do numbers, because that means that Kairi Sane is going to be caught in the middle of it, and getting a heel Asuka against Io Sky is going to be monumental. If you got a chance to follow Asuka in NXT, I think she had an 835-day reign as champion, and some of her wins in the way that she was booked at NXT, I'm hopeful that it will be reminiscent of that, and it'll be great to see her back in the world title picture. But if it happens for Io Sky fans, unfortunately, you can expect a beatdown of monumental proportions if this does happen. So it'll be interesting to see. I do see that kind of split happening between Asuka and Io, and probably Rhea playing a part in that. But time will tell. And in the unfortunate way that the current WWE product is going, it's so unpredictable. Look at the John Cena turn, which I told you all I was not a fan of with the way that it played out. But if you look at the John Cena turn, you really don't know what you're getting right now. So you're kind of on the edge of your seat, waiting to see, hey, what's going to happen.
Okay.
Now, as we move on from that, we move on from one beef to another. Anthony Joshua, according to the Twitter world, is getting played like a punk. Everybody feels with Anthony Joshua looking for his next opponent, it seems like he's being disrespected to the highest of court. A number of people saying he should take this fight, he should take that fight. There's older fighters who saying, "Hey, I can come in and take Anthony Joshua." And one person in particular has made headlines, and that's Andre Ward. And they asked Andre Ward, and even in his conversation with Bud, about him coming back and the money that it would take. And Andre went on record in a video that looked like it was from his phone, stating if he came back, the fight he would want to take is Anthony Joshua because of the fact that it kind of scares his legacy, so to speak. I mean, Andre Ward is undefeated, but many people feel as though Andre Ward hasn't fought in the tier of competition to warrant this. So, Voice, what is your thought on Anthony Joshua and Andre Ward's comments?
We talked a little bit about this off air. I think that it would be really, really interesting if they fought each other. Number one, Andre Ward hasn't fought since 2017. By the time this fight gets made, you're looking at almost 10 years out of the ring. And he fought, I think, maybe at his heaviest light heavyweight. If he was even, I think his heaviest was light heavyweight. So you're jumping up, 2 weight classes to take on someone who is a for real heavyweight puncher. Now granted, his chin is suspect, but Dre wasn't like known for knocking people out. He's a technician. So it just seems like a really, really big leap for him to do this coming off the couch. And you ask about Manny Pacquiao. It's like, you don't have people clamoring like that for Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, Pacquiao wasn't sitting on the couch for nearly 10 years, though. And that'd be like Pacquiao coming off the couch and saying, I want to fight Canelo. It's like, what? It's kind of mind-blowing and head-scratching to see this being said for Dre to say that, though. There has to be something that he's seen that makes him feel as if he can do that. As you stated, it's a lot on the line when you're undefeated record on the line, jumping up 2 weight classes. Last person to do that was the great Roy Jones Jr. to go from light heavyweight to heavyweight, and he did that for a title. Won't be a title on the line here because Joshua doesn't have any. It's very interesting, but all of this is just talk, because the real talk that's happening is what is more than likely to happen, just because it makes the most sense, and that's Jake Paul. That is the fight that has been bandied about. That's the one that makes the most sense. It's a nice, easy, light touch for AJ. We see what he did to Francis Ngannou. If Francis fought Jake Paul, I would put my money on Francis over Jake Paul. So it'd be a nice, easy touch. He'll make more money in this fight than any other fight that could be made currently. And he's able to get his rhythm back while prayerfully dispatching Jake Paul and giving much of the world the joy of the comeuppance that that people so desire.
So prayerfully. So with Jake Paul, you mentioned Jake Paul, are we taking Jake Paul as a serious contender now, or
no? Not taking him as a serious contender. He's never been a serious contender. He's all about prize fighting, and he brings the prize. So Jake Paul versus AJ. I keep stopping because I'm trying not to say a different name, but Jake Paul versus AJ, that would be, Tyson Paul like. Matter of fact, it probably will be even bigger because of the Paul's time in boxing. Much of it started across the pond in the UK, so they already have a following over there. So you got the US, you got the UK. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to make a bigger fight than that
one. All right, well, we'll see when it happens. Any kind of updates that happen will be discussed here on the main card or in our ring walk. So definitely make sure that you all are tuning in. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, UFC 319. We're gonna get into it in a major fight on the zone. The main card. We'll be right back.
It's not just about the love of the game. It's about dedication and commitment through the process and the patience to endure. There's joy in reaching your goals and peace in knowing you've done all you're supposed to do. Ozell brand. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.
Awesome. Welcome back, man. Shout out to the brand Ozell. You know what I mean? We already know Voice be out here, his Bruce Voice with the golden glow. Out here with his Battle Hawk shirt on, a bunch of losers. But we got some great things to get into. I'm sorry, Voice. I had to take a shot.
It's okay. You call me a hater. You're the one that's hating.
I'll take that. But Voice, we got some major stuff to get into, man. I know you talking about the Windy City Saturday night, man. It goes down. The Octagon returns to the Windy City, and the United Center becomes the proving ground for one of the most compelling matchups in recent UFC memory. Now, the main event of UFC 319 isn't just a title fight. It's going to be a collision of myth and momentum, some grit and greatness, legacy and legend in the making. You got Still Knox, the middleweight champion who's been walking through the doubters like them owe him rent. 23-2 overall, 9-0 in the UFC, and currently riding an 11-fight win streak that includes names like Adesanya, Whitaker, Strickland. And he's not just defending the belt, he's defending the reputation built on chaos, cardio, and calculated violence. And now, Voice, he's going to be going up against a man that many thought would already be wearing gold. Enter Boris Khamzat Chimaev. 14-0, undefeated, untamed, unbothered by the spotlight. He's the fighter who made Fight Island feel like Jurassic Park for so many. Now, the guy has made Robert Whitaker look like almost a regional amateur to some people in one round. But he's also a bit of an enigma. Hospitalized, isolated, he's nearly retired before ever touching the title. But he states that he fights for his family, not fame. And while he jokes about money, he's dead serious about his legacy. He stated, I want to make more money to help somebody who needs it. A lot of the young guys who are helping me, I hope that one day they become better than me. Now, that's not just heart, it's hunger. Now, Duplessis is not buying the hype. And one of the things that people have been talking about, if you saw online, is the size comparison. Now, he says he's seen it. He's heard the whispers, and he said he's not flinching. He said, I don't give a how big he is. It's not what wins fights. He said, it's who wins it. And he told this to Helen Yee. And he's right. It ain't a bodybuilding contest. Now, here's the kicker, Voice. Despite being the reigning champion, Duplessis walks into this fight as a major underdog again. And just like he did against Izzy, just like he did against Whitaker, just like he did against Strickland. And every time he walks out with his hand raised and his doubters silenced. So, Voice, what do we make of this fight between two juggernauts of a legend and a legend in the making?
Not sure if DDP is a legend yet. He's definitely on his way to legendary status. The one thing that would help him with becoming said legend would be to beat the boogeyman. Now, granted, the last time, Khamzat has been like the boogeyman, like no.
But Voice, the names that he's already beaten, how are we not considering him a legend already? Like it seems like every time he comes out the fight as a champion, he still happens to. You remember how he said in 5 Heartbeats, every night I got to fight for my love. How much more does he have to prove before he's a proven commodity?
And that's okay. So I think we are differentiating when it comes to terms. a legend. I wouldn't say that he's a legend just yet. He's on his way to legendary status. One, being the first South African to hold the title. Two, to beat the people that he's beat. But for him to be a legend, I look at like title defenses. Now, granted, if he is to beat Chimaev, which is not a given that he will, but if he's to beat Chimaev, that'll be his third title defense. Izzy had like 6. And Anderson, the GOAT for this division, he had like 9 or so. So he to be a legend, especially in middleweight, he's going to need to do a little bit more because of the groundwork that's been laid there. Again, is he on his way? Yeah, I think he is. And he's a legend in the fact that you've not seen anyone fight so ugly effectively ever. As Dana White said, he fights like a white guy dances. And that's the thing, though, that really helps him, because it's hard to prepare for a wild fight. I don't know about you, but I remember fighting someone really unorthodox, and I was doing point fighting, and he got up on me too quick. And I'm like, dude, he all wild and stuff. I'm talking to the judge, whoever's being my boy, is like, look, I'm giving him the points. So what you gonna do? So I had to buckle down, and do what I do, and quickly run off the 3 that I need to get him out of there. But people who fight wild, you don't know what to expect. So that's what's going to be interesting for Khamzat. Again, this is what's supposed to be his crowning moment, what he should have had years ago, but visa issues and health issues have kept him from doing that. We know it's not a visa issue this time because it's in the States. It's in Chicago. He's already there. So that is not a problem. Seems as if his health has been much better. And Dana White has said, I'm not concerned that if Khamzat becomes the champion, about his ability to defend. He's in the States now. He's got the visa situation. So it seems like the health scare that almost caused him to quit fighting is a thing of the past. Again, if he is to win, then what was supposed to have happened at multiple weight classes, which he's still talking about fighting and getting championships, at multiple weight classes, talking about going back down to 170, just because he can. I don't know that the UFC would let him do that, because the last time he was supposed to fight at 170, it was a mess. They had to reshuffle the whole card, which was very beneficial to One Day Diaz. Anyway, I digress. Khamzat is supposed to win because he's beaten everybody. He did show some humanity, though, in his fight against Usman. Now, and I have to preface, against Kamaru Usman, because you got Usman and Nurmagomedov and some other Usmans out there, including his brother Mo Usman. But anyway, he showed some flaws there. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does. He's been working his cardio like crazy on Aerodyne bikes with resistance bands and all kinds of stuff. So that shouldn't be a problem. But no matter how many times Drake is his fault, no matter how bad it's looked for him, he's found a way to win. So will that streak keep going, or will the wolf finally be head of the pack? We'll find out when the pin drops, the cage door locks, the thumbs go up, and they start the clock.
Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the most exciting UFC bouts, especially when you consider the fact Still Knox hasn't taken a loss since 2018 and has rattled off those 11 wins. And then you look at Boris, and undefeated. It's just like a monster. So that's going to be amazing to watch. Make sure that you all tune in. Make sure that you're following the Voice for any kind of updates. You know, Voice is always scoring it and giving you the real. That's going to be an amazing bout. That's UFC 319. Now, moving on, we got to talk about what's happening in the desert. Because live from Saudi Arabia, also on the zone, Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte is going to be taking place. And I know a lot of people have kind of dismissed this because of, Dillian Whyte's last few fights. But this right here is kind of a crossroads moment for both of them. And I think they both know it. So it's a test of time versus talent, the old guard versus the new wave. And it's got all the ingredients to literally shake up that heavyweight division. Now, Moses, just 20 years old. He's undefeated at 12-0, 10 knockouts. Already ranked number 1 by the WBO. And he's been stopping grown men like they owe him lunch money almost. 8 straight finishes inside 2 rounds. Now he's stepping in the ring with a man who's been through some major wars. You got Dillian Whyte, 31-3, the former WBC interim champion. He shared the ring with Fury, Joshua, Chisora, Parker, anyone there, you name it. Now he's been knocked down, but he's gotten back up and he's kept swinging. Now, the thing about Dillian Whyte is many people feel like his last few wins haven't exactly been lit up with highlight reels up to par. So he's coming in a little bit leaner and with something to prove. But with that being said, don't expect the younger Moses to bank on Whyte showing up as a version that we saw against Franklin or Tet. Now, his trainer, Ben Davis, made it clear. We'd be foolish to be taking the fight off his last performance. Moses is good enough to mix it up with any of them at this point. And the thing is, boys, this isn't just about what Whyte has left. It's about what Itauma hasn't shown many people. Can he swim in the waters when it gets deep? Can he take a shot and keep his composure? Can he handle the pressure of headlining a global card at only 20 years old? I can't tell you what I was doing at 20 years old, but I wasn't headlining a major card as one of the number 1 fighters in the world. And one of the things that he has spoken about is what he desires to do. And that's follow the steps in many ways of Floyd Mayweather. He said with Floyd, he was 50-0. People were insecure about that. They put a bit of doubt and pressure on him just so that they can feel better. I don't look at it from that perspective. I look at it like, wow, he's achieved a lot, and that's the career I want. But wanting it and doing it is different things. Now, Darren Barker stated, Moses doesn't want to lose to this man. He still wants to fulfill his dream, and that really is a crossroad fight. So, Voice, I have to ask you, with a man who's as seasoned as Dillian Whyte coming in with something to prove, and a young gunner like Moses Itauma coming in with even more to prove, where does that collision end and how does this go?
That is the question that can only be answered when they fight. On paper, you have Itauma, who is unproven and who is taking a major step forward and leap forward in competition, taking on the former champion in Dillian Whyte. He's got everything to prove in this with taking on such a venerated and veteran fighter. Dillian Whyte was 31-3 in his fights. Knocks out quite a few people. Those 3 losses have all been champions that he's lost to. Lost to Fury in a championship bout. Lost to Joshua in a championship bout. Lost to Povetkin when he was beating the sleeves off of him and then knocked him down like so many different times, but then got caught with an uppercut. Doesn't matter. He then avenged that fight and probably put Povetkin into retirement. And those are the people, again, that he's lost to. Let me tell you about some of the people that he's beaten. Derek Chisora, 2 times. Joseph Parker, who is in line to fight Usyk for the title. Robert Helenius, who we know has fought a number of different people and was sparring partner to Deontay Wilder and got stopped real bad by Deontay Wilder. These are all people that he's beaten. He has held championships. As a matter of fact, he is part of the reason why Deontay Wilder would not go across the Lions when it came to promotions, because they were like, he was the interim champion forever because they didn't want him to fight Deontay Wilder, being Wilder's people, and they had good reason not to allow it to happen because Dillian Whyte would have killed Deontay Wilder, and we know that now. They knew that then, but you know, they did a good job of manicuring Deontay's career. Anyway, I digress. He's a killer, has been a killer, but now he's an old lion. He's 37. He's had wars. He's been, like I said, he's had those 3 losses. All 3 of them have been by knockout. Now he faces this young, hungry, up-and-coming lion who does nothing but knock people out. If Itauma is able to continue that streak against someone like Dillian Whyte, the sky's the limit for him because he's so young in his career. If that doesn't happen, he can rebuild and come back. But for Dillian Whyte, it's now or never. If he can't beat Moses Itauma, then he is relegated to journeyman status, relegated to putting over the next fighter. And that's a place that even at 37, he doesn't want to be.
Sounds amazing. That's going to be on the zone. Moses Itauma, 12-0, undefeated record. It's going to be exciting to see what that young bull can do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is MTMV Sports, the main card. We thank you for tuning in with us every week. We do exactly what you, the fans, do. We do the research, and we love to bring it to you every week. Please make sure that you follow us. And before we go, we got some final fights for you to check out. Boys, take it away.
Yeah, so many fights this weekend. You've got Hrgovic, Nick Ball versus Sam Goodman, Ray Ford versus Nova, Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura, Cannonier versus MVP, Jeff Neal versus the Fight Nerves' own Carlos Praches, and you got a PFL tournament finals, 3 tournament finals, including Habib's protege, Ghazi Rabadov, Liz Carmouche. I mean, so many different fights. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful weekend to be a fight fan.
You heard it here first. It's a fight smorgasbord. Also, make sure you check out TNA Emergence for Trick Williams defending his TNA championship. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in with us. It's your man, Wilders Fruffin. It's your man, The Voice. Voice, take us out.
Until next time, fight the good fight.
What's going on, family? It's your man, Wilders.
And it's your man, the myth, the legend, The Voice.
And you just finished watching the main card on the MTMV network.
Yeah, for more great shows just like this, smash the subscribe button.